absolutely gets no better on a Friday afternoon than pomp and circumstance. Leading into the Capital PTBO episode number 2. Jordan Mercier here alongside Mark Millian. If you want to come down and check out the show, you can do so, 370 George Street. You can also visit us online at thecapitalptbo.ca. Mark, how are you doing?
I am laughing. Life is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like going to, and I realize this is only the second show, but even when I was fortunate enough to be on radio, I would always go in and make sure that I'm either on vibrate or silent, and then inevitably you check the notifications that you have on your phone. Joe Montana, unclear on whether Tom Brady should be named the GOAT now.
Oh, really?
Joe Montana references, like, I don't know, maybe Otto Graham. Why don't you ask Otto Graham? Like, Otto's gone, man.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you sour because Joe had a pretty nice career, carved himself out something pretty nice.
Uncharacteristic for Joe to weigh in on that.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated asked them. You made a story up about that, and Joe, obviously, nobody says Otto Graham, but he's obviously put out a little bit maybe by
Is that actually what he said, was Otto Graham?
Yes, he did. He said Otto Graham. I don't know.
In terms of sheer winning, it's pretty tough to argue, although the league is totally different.
I think that's maybe what the precursor was to it, because he had referenced the NFL's been around for 100 years. Graham's got 11 championships. Does that make him the greatest?
Slightly different.
Joey.
Automatic Otto. Of course, producer Matt is a Cleveland Browns fan, so he knows all about Otto Graham and what he did.
I am a very recent Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh, I see.
The first year I watched, they went 0-16, about 5 years ago.
Oh.
So nowhere to go but up for you, Matty.
I mean, they went 1-15 the next year, and I was happy. So
Jeepers.
Can't get much better than that.
And I think also, too, don't I remember, like, when you started watching the Canadians, they also were lousy, too.
Well, that's every year.
Oh, easy now. They got a Stanley Cup final last year.
Yeah, and they've won 8 games since.
Difficult.
I think it might be you. That's a you problem.
That is a major
also
you
a
problem.
Pelicans fan. They're pretty awful.
Oh, look inward. Zion is Greg Oden.
Ugh. I got a Greg Oden jersey at home. I think that might be why.
That's a curse.
That is a curse.
We got a great show, guys, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, which is coming up this week. Yeah. And I have a vested interest in it as a LA Rams fan. However, as a show host and as a broadcast journalist, as Bobby the Brain Heenan once said, I'm going to approach this very neutral. I'm going to see if I can give you honest breakdowns as to why I believe the LA Rams are going to win 41-10. I don't even think it's going to be close.
And see, if you had to let in with something else, like a rational take, I would have said that I'm to your
why not
to your Bobby the Brain. I would be Big John Studd and say if anybody else calls you Weasel, I'll flatten them. But no, that's not true.
Okay, so let's talk this out a little bit, and I want to do this a little bit differently rather than me and you just pecking back and forth at each other.
Sure.
Let's focus on Cincinnati first. Of course, Super Bowl 56 coming up. From SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the Rams are technically the visiting team, but it will be played in their stadium, which up until last year had never happened, and now it's happened 2 straight years. Last year with Tampa Bay. There is the one caveat of the year the Super Bowl was held in Pasadena and the LA Rams made it.
Right.
Wasn't their home, so It was a little bit different. But anyways, kind of a cool thing. Tell me why you believe the Cincinnati Bengals can win on Sunday.
To me, I think there's one thing that hinges on it, one heel that they've got. That Tennessee game, to me, Tennessee-Cincinnati is the precursor to this event. The Rams' front 7 is very strong. Cincinnati's O-line, it's been well documented, but only a few times. Everybody looks to that Tennessee 9 sacks and Burrow kept bouncing back up.
Yep.
If Cincy can control that, Jalen Ramsey should not be scaring people. Everybody thinks he's like, I don't even know as a comparable, because it would be embarrassing to say something like Darrelle Revis. This kid's not. 8 games, 8 playoff games, 1 interception, returned for 2 yards. 19 passes defended.
Mm-hmm.
So are you telling me they're only throwing at him twice? He's playing 100% of the plays, or 90% of the plays.
A little bit different too, in that I don't know how McVay's going to go about it, but they don't traditionally shadow a receiver with Ramsey. He plays what they call the star position. So he can find himself in a whole bunch of different areas. So I don't know necessarily. Back in the day, you would say, well, Deion Sanders is going to take Jerry Rice, and that's just the way it is. I don't think they're going to do that because it doesn't really in line with their scheme when it comes to Jamar Chase. That being said, maybe that's the wild card. Maybe that's the Bauer that they have in their pocket is now they're going to say, okay, Ramsey, no matter where Jamar Chase goes, you go and stay with him.
I'm not sure he'll be able to stay with him. The kid's quick. Jamar, and not to say that Ramsey's lost anything. You think he's 26, 25 years old. It's not like he's an old man by any means.
I'm going to say he's pretty good, and he takes out marquee receivers. However, to your point that you've made, I don't know if this playoffs has been great for him. He got burned on a late touchdown pass against Tampa Bay, which opened the door for the Buccaneers to come back. And that was just straight a guy just beating him.
So, okay, you asked me about Cincinnati.
Yeah, okay. Why can they win? Okay, so that's one thing.
St. Louis is barely held on.
St. Louis now, too.
Right? Well, it might as well be. No, they don't even matter in L.A. It was a known 40% ticket price reduction since the week opened. Nothing matters in L.A. except for L.A. Not the Rams, not the Kings, not the Lakers, not the Clippers. It's a little bit of everybody. Okay, anyways. They barely held on for dear life in Tampa.
Yep.
They barely held on for dear life in San Francisco.
Yep.
And San Francisco pretty well played the game away.
Yep.
They're not beating anybody good. San Francisco? Tampa? Okay, maybe Tampa. Okay, fine. I can appreciate this.
You cringe at San Francisco, but they did go into Lambeau and beat Green Bay.
Okay.
They were a team trending upward.
Sure. Okay, I can appreciate they go into Lambeau. This, all Cincinnati did was go into Kansas City and win.
Yep.
Go into Tennessee and win.
Yep.
Where's the one in the middle?
Well, Oakland was the first one. Oakland, L.A.,
yeah,
Las Vegas. Boy, we're great with names. We're stuck in the year 2004.
Sure.
But
so
okay.
Las Vegas, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then Tennessee, number one defense. You took them down. And then you go to Kansas City. And you lay it on them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they were down by a ton. The kids got moxie. The defense is better than I think that 17th rank. Give me Cincy.
I'm going to give you a reason why I think Cincinnati could win on Sunday.
I'm listening.
The Rams are a clumsy football team all year long. They make mistakes. You saw it in the Tampa Bay game. That game, they could have put that away 50 times. But
you
instead,
could say something for holding off the Bucs, though.
Well, hold
Tom
on a
Brady,
minute.
that guy lives off comebacks.
Hold on. It wasn't even really a hold off, though. They literally blew a 27-3 lead, and then Matthew Stafford had to make a big play. And the reason why that game was even remotely close was because they fumbled the ball 4 times. Yeah. They are a clumsy team. They don't play good special teams. Matt Gay's missed a kick in each of his last 2 outings, pivotal moments of those games. Also, Matthew Stafford led the league in interceptions, pick sixes.
Yeah.
Threw an interception against the 49ers in the red zone. The Rams are a clumsy football team. Sean McVay is a coach that historically, if you go back to the one time that they had made it to the Super Bowl, but there's been other times, he is not good if he gets down in games. He begins to panic. He begins to become one-dimensional and is almost one of those great coaches, and I do think he is a great coach, and his record speaks for itself. But they try to, 1, outsmart everybody.
Yeah.
And 2, they're so stubborn that they won't deviate from what kind of makes sense. So I remember him in the last Super Bowl where he came in and said, like, one of the biggest problems was he overanalyzed it. Like, he watched too much tape and all this stuff. He had no gut feel for how to tweak after the Patriots hit them in the face.
Right.
There was no tempo. Everything was slow. The offense never found a rhythm. He didn't call plays to put them in a successful territory. So those are 2 reasons why I believe Cincinnati could, in fact, win on Sunday. The Rams are clumsy, and I think McVay puckers up a little bit in these types of scenarios. I'm convincing myself, though, because I still believe that the Rams are a better team. Give me a reason why you think the Rams could win on Sunday.
Because they have the veteran leadership in the right positions, right? They have Von Miller on one side. They're going to have Donald on the other side. They have Jalen Ramsey. They have Eric Weddle. They have Matt Stafford. And these are guys at key positions that understand they've been in the situation, not necessarily Super Bowl position before, but Von Miller's, he's a
Super Bowl MVP.
Right?
Yep.
So these guys, they have that sort of pedigree. And once you have that, it's not something that you lose. There's still the understanding that 10 minutes left in the fourth means there's 10 minutes left in the fourth. There's still an opportunity where you're going to get 2 possessions. It's going to go right down to the bell. Whereas when you're young or inexperienced in these things. And not to say Burrow or Jamar Chase are inexperienced. That this is the Super Bowl. It's a little bit different than the national championship.
Yep.
80 million people are watching.
So you just hit the point that I would make, which is they have stars. And they believe, by their concept, that when the lights get brightest, the stars will play well. Aaron Donald will play well. Von Miller will play well. Jalen Ramsey will play well. And then on the other side of the ball, you've got Matthew Stafford. You've got Cooper Kupp, who was just named Offensive Player of the Year for what he was able to do. You've got Odell Beckham Jr., who, since he's come over, he's been pretty good, especially in the red zone, catching touchdowns, which is what you want him to do. So I believe the Rams, top to bottom, are a better team than Cincinnati. The one thing that has surprised me, and I don't know if we're talking ourselves into this or if you actually believe sort of what you're telling me, I can't believe you go back to the team that beat the Raiders, who by all accounts were a very middle-of-the-road team, and they squeak out a win against the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe we've gone from that to people looking in my face and saying, like, oh, no, the Rams are going down huge, to Cincinnati. And I just can't believe that, because that's the team that I watched where I thought, are you kidding me? They were, by all accounts, in my opinion, they were the worst team to make the playoffs, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I lost my survivor pool because they lost to the New York Jets earlier this season.
Right.
Okay, now things change.
Sure.
Confidence changes, coaching changes. That's another thing that I do think Zach Taylor is a very good coach. He was on the McVay coaching tree.
That's right.
So these two know each other. So, I mean, it'll be very difficult for one to try and surprise the other.
I can appreciate that, 4 short weeks ago, they certainly didn't go into the tournament as the powerhouse.
I'll counter your Tennessee a little bit, because I felt that they were one of the worst number 1 seeds that I've seen.
I would also agree.
Okay. They
Very
were not
soft offensively.
And you didn't have King Henry at full tilt.
Right, full capacity.
Now, the comeback against Kansas City, I can't take that away from them.
Sure.
Their defense came out, and the second half adjustments, unlike my criticism of Sean McVay, Zach Taylor showed that they can adjust at halftime. And Patrick Mahomes looked like a very ordinary player in the second half of that game.
Yeah. I think with Cincinnati, I think a lot of it is 2 things that I find interesting about it. One is, I think if you're betting with your heart, you want Cincinnati, but I think your head says the Rams. So if you are an emotional person, you're gonna go for Joe, because it finishes off a short but terrific story. 4-12 team last year busted up knee, and he takes not necessarily a ragtag group, but pretty close.
Not a lot of expectations.
And, they take their vibe from whatever he's doing under center, and next thing you know, it's, we're going to the show. I think
he's smoking stogies all over the place.
Why is the second half, why is the number not changed?
Good question.
4 to me, so
it stayed pretty firm.
It has. Yeah. It's 4.5, 4.5. Yeah. You had the big mattress Mac.
Yeah.
You see this bet where the guy puts $5 million in, like he does every big thing. And then if Cincinnati wins, then people who bought their mattresses from Mattress Mac get them for free. That's a big number. That's a lot of coin to put down on the one side. And generally, for probably any other game, it probably sways that line. It cuts it in closer. 4. I don't get a feeling at 4. I think the Rams don't cover 4. And I know you think
it's a 3-point game, one way or another.
Jeepers, I think so.
So this is my first realization of one of the reasons why people are so on Cincinnati in my face, in my circle. Casual people don't like Los Angeles teams. Probably the same way they don't like New York teams. And they don't like Florida teams, maybe. Boston would be now in the conversation for that sort of thing. That was the one thing that, for the first time, because I cheered for them mainly when they were the St. Louis Rams, Middle America. That was consistent with the teams that I tend to root for. Now they're in Los Angeles, and I'm not used to feeling the hate. Even my group chat, everyone's going at me constantly. It's just because of the Los Angeles factor. But
yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So 4.5. 4. Yeah. See, I think they're going big, and I think they're going over. I think it's going to be, and part of my head too says this has been undisputedly the most enjoyable, most fun watching postseason of all time. Yeah. It has to come crashing down.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a house of cards. It's going to be boom.
Right. There's been
ends
great games.
Right.
It ends with a 55-10er.
Yeah.
Just a drop.
Yes.
It's 30-0 at the half
has
or
to
something.
Happen.
What about the halftime show?
Okay. Eminem says he's nervous.
Really?
Dr. Dre came out in an interview and said, don't worry, he's not going to whip out his member. Eminem's not going to take out his member, which is good. It put me at ease.
Yeah, really. Like I go to bed at night thinking about those sorts of things.
I'm excited about this. This halftime show gets me right in our era.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember they did the Nipplegate thing?
Yeah.
Back in the day, Janet Jackson, and then they went away, and it was a bunch of really good but old-time safe choices.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, U2, eventually Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Prince. It was great.
Right.
Now they've sort of gone back into the more mainstream. Now, I say that knowing that each of these performers, except for maybe Kendrick Lamar, has been around for 30-some-odd years.
Now kids at halftime, I saw the perfect tweet. Somebody laid it out there about now kids of this generation are going to find out how cool their parents really are, because the parents are going to know
the lyrics.
They're going to know 80% of what's on what's in the itinerary there.
That's
going to
awesome.
be hilarious.
I'm excited. I'm interested to see the catalog that they come out with. But the one thing that, and I think my man Graham Elliott on Freak 90.5 made this point, that Eminem's saying like, oh, it's nervous because it's live TV. I mean, do we think that the performance is actually going to be live?
Yeah, right. You're having a 30-second delay. There'll never be another Janet Jackson scenario ever.
Well, I think most of it is just, even a few years ago, Justin Timberlake. It wasn't even like I'm trying to hide that it's lip syncing. I'm dancing and
I think The Weeknd was actually singing last year.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The famous Maze.
Yeah,
where he was like going all around.
That was like a fever dream watching that one.
But this will get a pass. Even if it's marginally good, it'll get a pass.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard when you've got somebody as outdated, and I don't want to say outdated, but somebody as old as the Rolling Stones, if they get up there and really lay a dud, you know, it's almost like, oh my gosh, what a super letdown. But if Mary J and Snoop and Dre and these guys, if they're not good, but they're all right, because I think of the viewership, the primary viewership window is going to be between 30 and 50.
Yeah.
It'll still be okay.
What songs are coming out, do you think? Like for Eminem, I mean, to me, My Name Is still the one that he goes with. But there's so many Eminem, Dr. Dre, like Forgot About Dre. Is that going to make an appearance?
Yeah.
Lose Yourself for Eminem, maybe?
Lose Yourself, next episode. That has Lil Dre and Snoop. Still DRE.
Yeah, still DRE. Yeah.
I mean, that's when you think about the streets of Compton, LA.
Yeah.
And, you know, hydraulic cars bouncing up and down.
If they don't have one hydraulic car in it, it's an absolute bust.
It's going to be totally disappointing.
Forget it. I'll turn it off.
We've got a Facebook comment from Jody thinking Eminem is going to bring out Canadian Legends Swollen Members.
Wow.
How's that for a throwback?
That is a big throwback. Maybe Cardinal Official.
He'll be at the game.
He also says Sincere Frauds, they lost to Cleveland twice this
year. Yes.
And he's a Browns fan.
Yes.
So,
see, he's more buying what I'm selling here. But I gave you two reasons why I think Cincinnati can stay competitive, even though in my heart of hearts, I think it's going to be a bit of a blowout. But the Rams are clumsy. They haven't shown the ability to actually stomp on teams' throats throughout the season. You saw that with the Tampa Bay game. You saw that a little bit in the latter half of the regular season. They blew the 17-3 lead against San Francisco, which cost them the second seed, which ultimately didn't factor in. But it was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? They do make mistakes. And McVay is the king of burning timeouts and play clock, delay of games, and so there's some of those concerning trends. That being said, I still stand by that I think the Rams are going to blow them out.
You know, and another aspect just of the Super Bowl that I haven't heard, there's been a lot of talk obviously about the stars on the Rams side, but the one guy that maybe he is due is Sony Michel.
Yeah.
You know, a guy that's kind of he's plumbed all the way along. You know, he hasn't had that big 150-yard, complete dominant 25 carry performance.
Reliable.
But reliable.
3.5, 4 yards.
He's been to the show before. He understands the way this is going to go. But he's a third and right, exactly. Yep. Good blocker. Gives them lots of options where I think in the Rams on every other side, even on the kicking side of the ball, I don't think you're going to name I don't think Matt Gay is going to win the MVP, even though he's 51-1.
Yeah,
to win the MVP, he's going to have to hit 6.
He's a Pro Bowl kicker. Missed one field goal the entire season, but he's missed in each of the last 2 games.
Right.
And more alarmingly to me, they've all come up short.
Yeah.
He came up short on a 47-yard field goal inside.
Right. Yeah.
You got high school kickers that can kick.
Yeah.
Like, I understand missing, left, right, whatever.
Sure.
You can't come up short.
No. And
that's alarming.
Not for a guy that's known to have a leg. You know, he's the most accurate guy in the history of the game. And he's pretty long. Like, he hits them routinely. You'll see the guys on the sidelines talking 56, 58, 60 yards.
Well, now it's like and this is funny. I won't go too deep into it, but I challenged myself 3 weeks ago to watch every single Super Bowl from 1990 through to the current one.
Wow.
I'm at the second Giants-Patriots one. Because on YouTube, they've condensed it right into like 2-hour chunks.
Right.
But the one thing that I noticed through the Super Bowls in the early to mid 90s is the special teams play. So
my goodness.
the kickers, the punters, like, boy, we're spoiled. Even though, kickers get flack. But back then it was like, I don't know, 45 yards.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Whoa.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, sometimes they were kicking on natural grass, so that's a big difference. But that being said, that was something that jumped out to me when we were talking about Matt Gay.
Scott Norwood.
Yeah, I did watch the Scott Norwood game.
I know.
I did watch that.
A young boy devastated at 11 years old.
I also didn't realize that, boy, it's trippy when you watch. Well, there's two things that came up over that time. One, the score bug. So if you go back far enough, you didn't know what the score was unless they were coming out of a commercial break.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, it wasn't until the first Super Bowl, I think it was Super Bowl 34 in 2000, that they introduced the 10-yard marker on TV.
Right.
Fox, I think, debuted it in 98, 99, but they didn't have the rights to the Super Bowl that year. So it wasn't until, I think it was
they would have paid
ABC
NFC
or whatever.
Championship,
CBS. So then they ended up going, anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
But I was doing research, by the way, for the Flashback Friday quiz when I was watching those games. I was taking notes.
You couldn't live without either of those things now.
No.
Now, even in just like the regular game on TV.
Yeah.
Your eye goes to the top right-hand corner. What's the score?
It does.
Today, I couldn't imagine that.
Always. And the first down marker, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, how many plays are like this far? And you're like, ooh.
Right.
Like back then, you'd have really no clue.
Yeah, you just wait for the chains.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. You got some prop bets we want to go over.
Prop bets. Shout out Tegan Overveld.
Mm-hmm.
He has given us, he wanted to get his picks in live. He wanted people to know, so we're going to tweet these out. No, we're not. We're going to put them on Instagram later.
Woo.
Because we don't do Twitter yet, do we, team?
No.
And
too toxic.
It really is. That is honestly the commentary, the cesspool that is. Okay.
We are live on Twitter today.
Oh, great.
Thank
you to the Twitter audience.
Actually, we're really happy to be on there. Yeah. Thank you.
MNC Podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to give you a few here.
Yeah.
We're going to go Cincinnati side. We're going to go generic. We're going to go Rams side.
Yep.
We're going to record these, see how we go.
Yep.
Will the game be tied after 0-0? Will there be another tie at any point in the game?
Yes. Could be a 7-7 in there.
I think so. Even a 3-3 maybe.
3-3?
The Rams do like scoring 3 points.
That's true. I'm going to say yes after 0-0.
Total receptions by Cooper Kupp. The over-under is 8.5.
Over.
It is.
I'll go over.
It is slightly.
They're going to key on him, but it hasn't mattered all season. They find a way to get him the ball. Matthew Stafford is playing his best football when he's finding Cooper Kupp. So it could be something where he's got 3 receptions through 3 quarters, and then there's that one drive where they're just like feeding him screens. So I think he gets over 8.5.
Total sacks in the game. This one seems to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And I think it is only the Tennessee factor. Total sacks in the game, the number is 5.
Over.
Because
I think Burrow's going to have to throw it 60 times because they're going to be down by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Rams are going to get some sacks. On the other side, Cincinnati's probably going to get some sacks. McVay likes those 7-step drops, man. Like he puts Stafford in a bad spot sometimes. So I think over on that one. I think I would be confident with that one.
Receptions by Jamar Chase, 5.5.
Again, I'm going to tend to lean to the over because I think they need to find a way to get him the ball, right? And especially if they're throwing that much. So my game theory is they're going to be down so much. So I think they're going to find Jamar Chase more than 5.5 times. If not, shame on you.
To ask this question now, I'll know what the answer is, considering what you've predicted as the score. Either team scores 3 straight times.
Yeah.
At a minus 190.
Yeah. We're doing that for sure.
That is that's juicy. That 190.
I think they do it, and I think the Rams do it early.
Wow. Coin toss.
I'm going to go heads. I'm going to buck the trend on this.
Give me
one.
tails.
The history of it is, I think it's heads by a marginal amount.
Makes sense.
In the win.
With the coin toss.
Got to swing the other way then.
Okay, I'm going to put Latour down for an L.
It's the old tails never fails.
Okay. Let's go with the quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
Passing yards, Stafford, 280.
Under
280.
Yeah. I think they're going to be able to run it.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So Burrow on the other side, 276.5.
Over just by volume.
Right.
So
you're thinking of 60 completions or 60 pass attempts.
Yeah, like 35 completions or something.
We're going to go 2 cross-sport props to finish it. So you have to listen. It's a two-parter. The yards of the first completion of Matt Stafford. Who will be higher? So the yards of first completion by Matt Stafford, or the number of assists Russell Westbrook gets on Saturday night against the Warriors.
Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
He completes a 21 right out of the gate.
A 21, and Russ has no chance.
Russ, I mean, they're starting to sit him down the stretch now.
Give me Russ, though. He's going to, he pushes his way to like 10 assists.
I think so, but I think the first completion of the Rams is going to be. McVay's been sitting on a play his entire life for what they could call that first play.
Right. Okay.
I think they'll do it.
The last one. Super Bowl, the longest reception by Cooper Kupp, or the points by LeBron James in the same Lakers-Warriors game. And you get a 1.5 here.
Cooper Kupp.
So Cooper Kupp, in the longest reception at 25 yards, you're confident LeBron doesn't pour in 27.
LeBron against a good team might just score 35 just to say he did.
Yeah.
It's the Warriors.
See, I think Kupp might get a 33 jobber in there.
Really?
And LeBron maybe gets 29.
Does Cooper have that breakaway speed to be able to do it?
Oh, they find him on wheel roads. Like, get ready for it. I'm telling you. Or deep crosses.
Really?
Yeah. And he was one of the leaders in yards after catch.
That's true.
We look at him and think, this white boy, like, what's going on?
Sure.
He's not Jamar Chase in terms of athlete. But that being said, like, he's a hard guy to tackle.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away. He's not a guy who looks for the sidelines. He doesn't give himself up and slide or anything like that. And his yards after the catch are comparable with any other receiver in the league.
Right.
So I think he usually is good for a 30 jobber somewhere along the line.
So what will we throw into the pool here? So there's 10 bets there. What do you want to lay down 100 each?
Let's do it.
We'll go a G.
Yeah.
Just something light. You probably carry a G.
Yeah.
So Latour, what are you in for?
For fun.
For fun.
His mom's listening too.
No, listen.
Wanda, what are you doing?
Wanda is listening.
What kind of man did you raise?
The Latour household is half our viewers. Listen,
That
they only show
doubt.
up as one view because they watch it in the living room together.
Yeah.
That's wholesome. I like that.
I like that too.
That's nice.
It's like
My dad would be like, "What's a podcast?" Glenn has no clue what's going
I think
on.
here's my problem with sports betting is I'm cursed right now, so I don't want to bet on anything Super Bowl.
No, we covered that with your Cleveland Browns and your Montreal Canadiens and
I bet on a soccer
Pelicans.
game the other day.
Pelicans.
I bet on a soccer game on a team that was up 2-0 and they lost 3-2.
Wait, you placed the bet when they're up 2-0?
Yeah, I needed to win. I got
This
to break
guy
the
is so
curse.
Wait, the juice on that must have been so severe, like minus.
It wasn't great.
Well, so what did you put? Minus 500. You laid $5 down to win a dime,
I just
and
need
you
to see a
lose.
green light next to my bet instead of a red one. That's it. It's a mental thing.
He
my
also
God.
bet on Mr. T in Rocky 3, the second fight.
Jody Jenkins wants to know if is 10K too steep?
Not for a guy like Jody Jenkins. Are you
Jody
kidding me?
Jenkins, him and Tony Clement, and another thing, they bring in that weekly.
And Chris Mitchell says I could be in for a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Wow. Okay.
A guy wants to bet a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Are you not watching the video
Right
here?
here.
I guarantee you're going to get that's going to go down. That Popeye chicken sandwich, you can forget that. That's going to be a win. Okay, I'll give you the same 10.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And next week we'll just put the
do
stacks
it.
on the table and see what's good.
I'm glad Chris commented about the chicken sandwich. Matt Latour, you had a homework assignment when it came to spreads for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The first time I ever tried a chicken wing was Super Bowl 36. It was from Pizza Hut. And it was watching the Rams lose to the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. But I vividly remember that. It was like, wow, I'm having chicken wings. This is crazy.
Wait a second.
I know.
Whoa. Latour, is this a known story? Did you know that?
No.
Okay. You just gave Wanda grief about what kind of boy you're raising.
I didn't eat a chicken wing till I was 13.
And here Glenn has deprived you of a wing till you were 13. Was he afraid you were going to choke on the bone or something?
I just wasn't a fan. I just looked at it and I was like, nah, it's not my kind
Too
of thing.
sloppy.
I don't
Yeah, a
even
little
like
bit.
chicken wings.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
my problem.
unbelievable.
I'm not I go to wing night every Wednesday and don't get wings.
So what needs to be in the spread?
So I found these 60 best.
Wow.
And one of the ones, everything's air fryers these days. That's
Sure. That's
air
cool
fryer
kids,
meatballs. A pizza dip is a big one. Toss some pepperoni and like a cheese dip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stacked sandwiches, like all the things that are a lot of effort to make, which I feel like Super Bowl snacks don't have to be.
No.
But if you find that Super Bowl party where people are going to this length, you never leave it.
No,
You book
that's
your ticket
go-to.
for next year.
Chili dogs came up a couple times as well.
My man Dylan, who listens to this, Dylan Reed, he used to put on the most elaborate spread and he'd be dedicated to it. And there were a few years where it was literally like me and my buddy Yorkie show up. And there's wings. There's like everything you can imagine. And we're like not even taking a dent out of it because it's just crazy.
Just
There's like
dug right
2
in. There's nothing.
pizzas.
Oh my
I will tell you,
goodness.
Rapid Robert, who I know is watching, I remember one year we went to his. It was the Patriots Seahawks. And we went and I said, I got to grab a wheel. And he's like, no, I'll take care of the food. And he was just going to do sort of the meatballs and sliders and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I need a wheel.
Yeah.
Like I got to get pizza.
100%.
There has to be pizza in some way, shape, or form. So I actually stopped, I think, again at Pizza Hut. Shout out.
Yeah.
You love the Hut.
Future sponsor.
Future sponsor.
Yeah.
I'm a big Pizza Hut guy.
My kid,
Yeah.
Cole Million, works there in
Really?
the kitchen. He's a supervisor. Yeah, we should be getting some sponsorship
I spent
dollars.
5 years working for the Hut.
Oh, that's right. You guys are like
Yeah.
alumni.
I've literally been a Pizza Hut chef and a broadcaster. Like that's my laundry list of like jobs that I've taken.
Okay, so we've got to now we've got to marry the two.
There's enough space between you two for a large pizza.
Yeah.
I know the measurements.
Let's do it.
Mark Payne says he remembers watching a game in Rapid
Yes.
Robert's basement.
He was at that one. Really old vinyl basement too with a lot of Elvis like stuff going on.
Beautiful.
Coca-Cola.
That's nice. I like that.
That's how it should be.
And while we're on that, Matt,
Yep.
did I make the right decision here where we got our basement redone and Mrs. M said she wanted to have people over, obviously within the appropriate amount of limits that are still existing in the province of Ontario. Mm-hmm. But she wanted to have some couples over and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't do it with my team actually playing. I need to focus.
I could appreciate
I
that.
You
watched
mentioned
my
a couple years
teams.
ago you were miserable.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So a few years ago when it was Patriots and Rams, I actually got invited to a party and I said yes, not thinking that the Rams were going to beat New Orleans that year.
Hold on.
And
Tell him
they
the
did.
VIP guest list at this party because it's not just some
David
Super
Goyette's
Bowl
house.
party.
I was with Leo Groark and Andrew Beamer and
Like the
those
president
boys.
of Trent University
Yeah.
and like city council.
But here's the thing: I'm so intently watching, and they're very casually watching.
Yeah.
And this and that. And when I watch my teams, whether it's Game 7, Red Wings, whatever, I'm literally in a dark room with a television, phones off.
Right.
Okay, cool. Like I'm focusing because I'm bleeding on every play. If I go to a party and, Matt's there and Graham and Bob and they're barbing me every second because they're all cheering for Cincinnati, that to me would be hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I kind of was firm and said, not this time.
I can
Not this time.
appreciate that. You don't want a guy in your ear. It's 3rd and 7. And they've got to
Stafford's
convert.
going to mess this up.
You don't need that. Okay.
Oh, Jordan, why'd they do that? Oh, that wasn't a good
Yeah,
play.
what a dumb play
Beacon.
call that is. Anyways,
Yeah.
last week I was at the gas station. No, it's not time for stories.
All right, finish off our spread that we got to have here. We got to get nachos in there somewhere.
Nachos came up a lot.
Yeah, Tostitos of sorts.
But it's all like everyone wants to get so fancy with things, is what I find.
No, that's
Oh
not
no,
our
you got to
style.
stick to the staples.
Chicken wings,
to
chicken
the-
fingers,
Yeah.
maybe some meatballs, some
As
pizza.
you guys know, charcuterie boards are hip. Like they're in right now.
Okay, and
Are we watching this in Rosedale in Toronto?
Yeah.
People are making charcuteries that are shaped like a football stadium.
That's somebody there. They're
next
obviously
level.
that is that's Martha Stewart type.
And in the middle, you got the 2 end zones is each team. It's a different dip, and then it's guacamole in the middle.
Wow.
Jeepers. Okay, I'm gonna wow you with a few staples here. Okay, and I want to go around the room here on the few vintage staples. If you're gonna put out one bowl of chips, is it ridged or is it smooth? What do they call that? There's ruffled and
Yeah.
then there's plain.
Just regular?
Yeah. What do you go with?
Is neither an answer?
No, you've got to pick one. You
Between
got to.
those two?
Are they
gotta go with-
original flavored?
No,
If they're
they-
original, then I go ruffled. If there's something else, I don't.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, all dressed ruffled are great.
Oh, yes.
No, won't do it.
Okay, wait. So your caveat is ruffled only if they're original. If it's barbecue, you're going with that like other crap?
If it's barbecue, I'm putting it like at the way other end of the bar, not even going near it.
Sour cream and onion.
No.
On a ridge?
No.
Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar
salt and
on
vinegar
a ridge?
I like. Give me just the no ridge Old Dutch for salt and vinegar.
See, I would say I want Tostitos. Middle of the table, I need Tostitos. Like that's the way I go.
Okay.
Tostitos.
Here's
but not scoops. Rounds.
Yeah, rounds is key.
Yeah.
The multi-grain rounds.
It's a little too healthy for me.
No, it tastes delicious.
You're the smallest guy at the table.
No, but
I'm just saying.
You know where Tostitos fell off? This is true. They used to have a salsa version, like a hot version, and they used to be kind of like they were spicy.
Like the actual chips themselves.
Yeah, they were rounds. And they were spicy and they were terrific, and you took them away. Anything that's good like that, Tostitos, you owe me. Bring that back for next year's Super Bowl that we're going to host here.
Get that in a case of Tahiti treat.
Graham Elliott says Old Dutch tastes like they're stale. You got to have scoop nachos.
Oh, he's going the other way on us.
Old Dutch, what's the verdict? Are we in or are we out?
I love them. That's the only chip brand I buy.
Old Dutch used
Shout
to
out
be...
Tyler Revoy. He delivers them.
Okay, yeah, I can support that. I can support a young man trying to feed his family.
Campbellford Rebel general manager.
Campbellford Rebels, yes. Was Old Dutch the one that used to come in the box?
Maybe.
Did you ever know the one? I think they did come in a box.
They bought Humpty Dumpty, though, and that was the one that I used to go with, I think, if I know my chip acquisitions.
I can't. Yeah, no, we're
straying off the
check
deep
that
end here.
in the break. I can't believe you would serve anything but ridged.
Wow.
That's unbelievable to me. So that's a
not my chips, but my condoms. Ayo.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Well, yeah. Can you cut that one part out? Thank you.
Apologies to the Latour family.
Apologies to Wanda now that has to explain that to Matt when he gets home.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? Why is there no sweet at the table?
A candy or something.
Well, everybody kind of puts out, maybe they go with like a soft chocolate chip cookie or something to finish it. But other than that, everybody goes for the savory. Why aren't we getting a little bit of the...
You want licorice?
No. Here's a couple of things. That put out a nice lemon loaf. That would be...
That's nasty.
What do you mean?
That's a terrible idea.
No, it's not.
Nobody goes to a Super Bowl party saying, "Oh, I hope they have a lemon loaf."
A lemon tart, something that's nice that'll finish it off for you.
This isn't Christmas dinner.
Yeah, refrigerator cookies or something.
No,
with the coconut.
No, that's what. No, see, I'm gonna go to your party and I'm gonna get some like Vortman's. Open the box and it's gonna be the little red sugared cherry thing in the middle. No. Trust me on the lemon loaf. Or on the lemon tart. Okay. Trust me on that.
Well, I'm going to see what you two gentlemen know about the Super Bowl. Because we're going to get into the Flashback Friday quiz. Right now, you're listening to the Capital PTBO Podcast. Check us out, 370 George Street or the capitalptbo.ca.
Strike ball one. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Martin. Henderson made a wild stab for spell. Here's another shot. Right by the floor. And he's done. And scores for Canada. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's out of there, Lord! I don't believe it!
All right, it is time for the Flashback Friday quiz. Not surprisingly, the category, gentlemen, is Super Bowl trivia.
We have to get a video to play over that intro.
It's a little awkward.
It's just us sitting here looking at the TV.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I even did the fake like we're talking. Like
you don't admit that it's fake right afterwards.
I'm looking at the TV to understand that I think that's Darius Rucker.
Who's a hardcore Miami Dolphins fan.
Correct.
Remember I Only Want to Be Like You?
Only want to be with you. I'm going to let
The Dolphins make me cry? That's a lyric from the song?
Yeah, I'm going to let that pass because I know that you're 30.
Cracked rear view.
I'm going to let it pass. That whole CD, you can bang the whole thing beginning to end, and it's a mash.
This is the second time someone's brought up Hootie and the Blowfish to me today.
Is that right?
And I'm too young.
They're good.
No thanks.
All right, we got the questions here. Everyone play along if you want. We'll start out with question number 1. I got a little bit creative with these ones. What are the 3 biggest upsets ever based on point spreads? What are the 3 biggest upsets ever based on point spreads? I will give part marks if you're able to get some of them.
The first Giants and Patriots?
Yes, that is. Judges, should we say, do you have to give the number, though, too?
Oh, I can't do that.
I'm going to say it was Patriots, and it was 7.
It was Patriots 12
Oh, my gosh.
in that game, and the Giants won outright.
On the first one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the first one.
Plaxico in the end zone.
Yes. Good for you, Matt Latour. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Joe Namath.
So am I jumping out to a lead here then? Is that how that
No, the 1969 New York Jets.
That is the biggest one still.
Correct.
18-point underdogs.
I would have had the second part. I knew that.
It was never clarified. I took the lead. So
Latour, don't give me that.
I'm shocked.
there's one more?
Yeah, there's one more.
There's one in the middle.
I'll give you a hint. It's already been referenced on this particular program, and I may or may not have been eating a chicken wing when I did it.
Super Bowl 36.
Patriots Rams?
The Rams were a 14-point favorite.
Greatest show on turf.
They had already won in New England earlier that year. Spygate, I'm still bitter.
Doesn't
So
sound
those
like
are those are it. Those are it. Those are the 3.
So Mark takes the first one?
Shout out subtly to the first. I didn't realize this until I was watching the game on YouTube. I didn't realize the Packers were 11.5-point favorites over John Elway and the boys.
Yeah.
In Denver. That's a good Super Bowl. It still holds up. Who has the record for the most career rushing yards in the Super Bowl with 354? Who holds the record for the most rushing yards in his career in the Super Bowl with 354?
I am not going to get this right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Marshawn Lynch?
Not a bad guess.
Yeah,
he was there twice. No.
I'm trying to think of how many guys, because it's hard, like with your New England. I'm going to go Emmitt Smith.
I would have probably picked Emmitt Smith myself. It's actually Franco Harris.
Oh.
Who was in 4.
The Immaculate Reception, yeah.
Yeah. I like this one. This is one of my favorite pieces of trivia ever, and I didn't know it. What team has lost 4 Super Bowls and in those games never once held a lead in any of them? What team has lost 4 Super Bowls and never once held the lead in any of those games?
Minnesota Vikings.
You see that? You knew that one.
Because I watched the Buffalo Bills live, and I know
and they were leading.
The Bills had a super lead at halftime, and then Jim Kelly got into the champagnes, thought the game was over. Boom, over.
Was it Minnesota?
It is Minnesota. Yeah. So they lose. That was really good. They lose to the Chiefs. They lose to the Dolphins. They lose to the Steelers and the Raiders.
That's right.
All of which fairly convincing, and they never once held a lead in any of those games. Right. Fran Tarkenton. Alan Page, the Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the record for most points scored in a game by a winning team?
Do we have to know the team, or can I just guess a number?
No, you got to know the team. This is an amateur hour over here. Hucking out numbers here.
The team. Latour, do you want a first shot at this?
Dallas Cowboys 58.
Cowboys not a bad guess.
Not a bad one.
They did put a big number up on the board.
Yes, they did.
I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers and give me 55.
That is correct.
Ooh.
It's also the biggest lopsided game, 55-10.
And who did they beat?
The Denver Broncos.
John
Elway.
This is the most lopsided Flashback Friday trivia.
Who has the record for a quarterback 6 touchdown passes in 1 Super Bowl? 6 touchdown passes in 1 Super Bowl.
Latour, you probably watched this Super Bowl.
Is it Nick Foles?
No.
Not a bad go. 6 Super Bowls. Or 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Because that was a high-scoring game, I remember.
That really was.
There's a
lot of yardage records in that one.
Couple of dudes. I'm going to go Steve Young.
It is Steve Young.
It's also going to be That in one of the classier moves, San Francisco takes the ball, opening play, drives it right down the field. Opening pass goes to Jerry Rice across the middle on a hot route. But it's 7-0 before Stan Humphries grabs the ball with the San Diego Chargers, and the route is on.
Yeah.
That was that Chargers team had some stars too, but Stan, you couldn't compete.
That's also the biggest betting cover that there's ever been, because the Niners were 18-point favorites and they won 49-26. So there's a little fun. Last one here, and this one's fun for all of you playing at home. Who was the first solo singer to perform the national anthem? Did so in 1974.
Oh, cheap.
Who was the first solo singer to perform the national anthem? Did so in 1974. Give you a hint. It is one of Mark Million's all-time favorite solo singers.
Marvin Gaye.
No.
Okay. We're back to Wanda now.
22 years before I was born.
Marvin Gaye, though.
I'm blindfolded shooting a pistol here. I've got no idea.
Okay, obviously it's a woman, because I don't croon for too many men.
It's one of your all-time favorites.
You don't even know my all-time favorite.
No, I'm fully lying about that. I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't think you're going to get it.
Are you not a Marvin Gaye fan?
Oh, really?
I don't think you're going to get this one. You'll know the name, but you'll be like, eh.
Oh, okay. So it's not Aretha Franklin.
No, Charlie Pride.
Get out of town, Charlie Pride.
1974, Charlie Pride.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
That's true.
That's like, according to my half-assed internet research.
Isn't Charlie Pride a Canadian?
I think in a country act, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to open the magic box on being Canadian. I don't know about that, but it seems like maybe
Charlie
actually.
Pride was born in Mississippi.
Oh,
you
were thinking Mississauga, but
well, he always played in Peterborough. Maybe he was always at the Mem Center.
Yeah, he's in Oshawa quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that's how we do the Flashback Friday quiz. I would say that was a decisive victory, much like the LA Rams. Mark plays the Rams to Latour's Bengals.
Ouch.
In that one. Got a few more moments here.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Bullet points. Olympic men's hockey. Have you cared at all?
No.
No.
And
They've only played one game.
But not even like tonight. It's Canada and the U.S. That would be a game that you had circled for months.
Yeah.
And now it's... And I love the guys. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I love them.
Sure.
How are they going to contain Justin Abdelkader?
Oh, my God.
That's the big question.
The big Winnick on Abdelkader matchup.
Yeah. No, for me, it's... And I know that like viewership is way, way down.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a real no-care zone on the Olympics, which is hard to swallow, but no. The women's side of it,
Yeah.
it's still fun to watch Canada and the U.S. It's not fun to watch the 11-0 Sweden loss. Mm-hmm. That's not fun. But no, men's hockey, holy smokes. I think they should have just made a team of ex-NHLers. Never mind finding the best, because they have kids from the KHL that are over there and they're playing here.
You had to be retired 3 years, and then just dust them out.
Sure.
Like here's Scott Upshall and just a bunch.
Would anyone be upset if they just sent the World Junior team?
No, and they used to do that, right?
But
Yeah,
they
that's
sent Mason
right.
McTavish.
Yeah, Mason's there.
Yeah.
Owen Power's
Power,
there.
yeah.
I don't mind that idea of having like a beer leaguers like Olympics.
I know most people would say, well, the Olympics, it was always meant for amateurs, and let's get back. But once you have the pros there, to go back.
Right. Now you've teased this. The World Cup of Hockey hopefully is something that they'll bring that back so you can get
and not
that
have
best on
goofy
best.
North America, Europe
Oh,
teams.
give me a
and
break.
Young kids game.
Stupid.
Last but not least, Tuukka Rask, retired.
Tuukka Rask. Here's a kid that he never got his due.
Reliable. Very good.
Wait a second.
Statistically, holds up really well.
That's the first word you're going to put out is reliable?
I never got the feeling he was going to win me a series.
No, that's also true because he was before. Was it the Flyers? Flyers beat them from 3-0 lead.
Yeah,
and then in the next year, or not the next year, but the Leafs had the debacle in Boston. He was going to be the first goalie in history to drop a 3-0 and 3-1 series and lose.
Yeah.
Vezina Trophy winner 2014, all-time leader in wins and games played. He's the second highest save percentage in the history of the game behind Hasek and Ken Dryden.
Did you think he would win you a series, though?
No.
Look, I'm going to say reliable. I'm going to say very competent. But I'm going to say you had a 2-1 series lead against the Blackhawks and lost that series.
Yeah.
And you had a 3-2 series lead against the St. Louis Blues and lost it.
And your only Stanley Cup win, you were behind Tim Thomas.
Did he play at all in that? I mean, maybe when they were down 3-0.
Maybe he gets into a game, but not. And look, by the way, I know I'm going to get some heat. Maybe I like Tuukka Rask,
sure,
but to put him in a different category, I would have him behind Carey Price for sure.
Where does he rank for like Finnish goalies? He's Finnish, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Is he better than Kiprusoff?
No. I felt like Kiprusoff. To me, I felt like Kiprusoff. You want to talk about a guy that could win you a series?
He could. 0-4, right?
Nearly did.
Yeah. I think that was a level that I didn't see Tuukka get to. And I know Tuukka gets some heat just because, I don't know, he was mild-mannered and wasn't flashy, but did his job and was really good. I think he's a Hall of Fame goaltender.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who else is up there for Finnish? Like Pekka Rinne? He's better than Rinne. Rinne made it.
I was a big Rinne mark, but I think just like over a long haul, Tuukka Rask was better.
Yeah.
They also had those 2 years. Remember when the Bruins started to sell playoff tickets and then they just collapsed at the end of the year and missed both years in a row?
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was bad.
It's kind of a strange career. He's got 300 wins, so he's going to get that Hall of Fame accolade, but
I think so.
Great temper tantrums, too. He threw a lot of temper tantrums.
Who was he drafted by?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Correct.
Is this the Raycroft?
Traded for Raycroft.
Ooh.
Who won a Calder.
Who
and
did
then
win?
Comes over.
And he sets the record for the most games played by a Maple Leaf goaltender with 74 or whatever it was.
Not
and
great.
John Ferguson thought that was a great move, Junior. And
John Ferguson Jr.
only set our franchise back a decade.
Mark, thanks, man. This was fun. Matty, this was fun.
It was.
We had a great time.
What did we learn today? Just quick. Ruffled chips.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for you too.
I like Ruffles.
Don't look at me now.
Yeah.
About it. Ruffled domes.
Yeah.
And
the Rams are going to win.
Ruffled feathers. Yeah, the Rams are going to get
a lot of ruffles
stomped.
going on here.
Jeepers.
This is the Capital PTBO Podcast. You can check it out 370 George Street here in Peterborough, online anytime at thecapitalptbo.ca. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and we'll do it again next Friday.